So Nate, tell me, what are we doing here today?
Well, Dane and Biggs, today we're mapping out our short film that we've been talking about for years but have never finished.
So we had this idea, I think, that I came up with, and then we just kept working on it with each other until it became perspective. It always included one guy looking at himself while he was interacting with a past love. That was always the main concept. I wrote the script in one go, as I do, and then I didn't look at it for the rest of the weekend. So I wrote it and then didn't look at it. I don't know if it's still good, but all the points are there, right? Okay. So we do, because of the contest, what we've got to do is you have to make a film that's all set in one location.
And then as far as crew goes, I mean,
just the evolution of ideas was so incredible working on a film like this, because you have like all of these people who have never done this thing before, and you have all of these great minds coming together to attack something and make sure we're coming at it from every angle before we even get on set.
So the whole thing is one shot, and the issue with that is the walls move, essentially. And so after hours of trying to move the walls in my house, we decided to build a set. We want to know exactly how big we want the set to be, so what we've done is we've laid this out, and this also gives us an excuse to lay out where like the things in the room are going to be. Like right here we have our bed. We also have, important to the story, 2 windows which we marked just on the ground right here as well. Setting all this up also gives us an opportunity to go through the scene and place where exactly the actor is going to be.
In a scenario like this, where we're self-funding it for a film challenge that we're probably not going to win, that did mean that for us, this was kind of a big investment. So every moment we spent on set figuring things out and trying to make things work was money that we were having to pay. So we were using tools like Cinetracer and Shot Designer to make sure that we knew everything that was going to go down, and we could also use those programs to print out paperwork so that when we got on set, everything was ready to go. The other reason we had all of that pre-production done was because this was our first time working with moving sets. I had never worked with moving sets before. I had never built sets before, which I didn't build these ones. Dane and Neil built these ones, so thankfully I still haven't built any sets.
Oh wait, let me get it.
I'm feeling a little bit of bitterness here.
Hey guys. Sorry I didn't see you for a second there. Today we are building sets for Nate's short film. So basically we need 4 full-length 16-foot walls. Pull the corners together in a way. One has to open up, so we're still trying to figure that part out. You ready to spend $100 in paint?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh man. That looks like a real windowsill. There's glass there. See, look. Real glass.
On it.
When you say something like, I want to direct a Star Wars fan film, usually you don't think, I want to be a set designer for my own Star Wars fan film because I couldn't find anybody to do it. But those are the things that will create little steps of education for you so that you can learn what a set designer does and learn some of these other jobs so that you can function better as a director or a filmmaker altogether.
There it is.
You ever vlog with a GH5?
So, just to make this more complicated, the set, if you didn't know already, opens and moves. So we have wheels on the bottom of 4 of these. Okay. So, that'll be fun. Okay. How's that?
Oh, hey.
See you there.
Moving sets, we had lights being dimmed on and off constantly. I think we had 3 or 4 lighting setups that changed during the one shot. And then there was also 3 or 4 people who we hadn't worked with before, like Nick and Sean. That was one of our first times working with them.
That's all I gotta say. Stop staring at me. I can't do this when people are having performance issues.
We learned this, we learned that. Let's talk about what I learned, because I learned that VFX and I do not mix whatsoever. So early on in the process, we knew that this was going to have to be a VFX heavy film. Danon and Neil are incredible at VFX. That's like their main forte. They're really great at it. That short that they put out last week was actually really funny. It's not last week, I shouldn't say that. Cut that out. What that meant for me specifically on set was that Danon, who was the producer and the VFX supervisor, he was pretty much walking me through everything we needed to do in order to shoot it. So, you know, I would be like, okay, Danon, here's how we're gonna shoot it with the camera. I was like, so what do you need from me? Like, do we need to put a green screen up and light it over here? Do we need to put tennis balls everywhere? Do I need to get an AC to put tracking markers everywhere? What do we need to do? And Danon would walk me through the entire process. In order to get VFX to work, I had to learn how to work differently with actors. That's something I hadn't worked with before, having an actor work against a tennis ball. And so when I was working with Haley, I had to speak with her about how I could help bring the emotion to her, if we could have somebody say her lines off camera, things like that. What we had Taylor do in order to keep the pacing and to keep the emotion up is I found a song that I thought represented the themes of the music pretty well and had the pacing and everything. So I downloaded that to my Spotify and brought it to set, and then I had him listen to it. When we blocked the entire thing with him and Haley, I was playing the song the entire time. So since he's a musician and I'm a musician, we just kind of worked out all of the beats and all of the rhythms that way because that's what worked best for us.
Walls.
Speaking of all of that, I am so enamored with the way that they're doing all these VFX that I'm looking forward to next week when they're going to be posting a VFX breakdown on the Slack Shack channel. So if you're interested, as much as I am, and I'm sure the rest of the crew is, to see exactly how they pulled off all of the effects in perspective, which, by the way, there's a lot more than I think anybody was expecting. Make sure you tune into that next week because it's going to be an incredible video.
Just my eyes like completely red.
I mean, technically they are because of the light.
Oh my god.
Other than that, guys, if you found the video interesting or educational, make sure to like the video. If you submitted anything to the Aperture Like This Location Challenge, please leave us a link because we'd love to check out your video submissions or any ideas that you had for video submissions. And if nothing else, please subscribe to the Slack Shack YouTube channel, share this video around if you can, and we'll see you next week with that VFX breakdown. I think there was 1 or 2 days where Danon asked me to come in and work on post because I was super cocky, and I was like, yeah, dude, you just gotta click on it and drag it around every few frames. I think within 2 hours of doing that, I had a full-on mental breakdown, and Danon sat me down and he said, I think we had a bad day. I think that you're a director who tried to do some editing, and I think that it just didn't work out. And it really felt like I was getting fired.